So, welcome back to another After Work episode. I'm Lee. I'm here with Kensy. Yeah. Yeah. I know Kensy from uni, but there's one thing I actually don't really know is the story, your first year story. Because I was the opposite side of the coin. I was in leadership position when Kensy first joined the university. Yeah.
Yeah, my controversial first year. I don't want to say
Yeah.
controversial, my interesting first year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is, yes, you definitely were on the opposite side of the coin.
Let's start. Why do you think it's controversial? Why you say that?
So, I don't know. You look, if anyone who's ever watching this, if you know who I am and you end up, and you know what happened, it would be a bit weird, man. Like, you just weren't, it's not something you would expect to happen to me. And some people did a few, how can I?
Do I know the story? I don't think I know the story.
I think you do know the story. Some people did some things that might have been a little bit on the left of what you should have done in those positions. But we'll explain that in a bit. It's a very interesting situation.
I don't think I know the story.
So I arrive,
Mm-hmm.
and I am in your section.
Yeah.
So we're in FAFSAT together. We've got this mascot guy called Sanchez
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And we hit the ground running. There's like some wedding that happens at
Oh,
first,
right,
and like the
yeah.
whole situation. And we were practicing for something called Fensters, which is like a dance. It's like a
What's this like basic orientation, but like I don't know how to explain it. It's something very unique to Stellenbosch
Yeah, it's like
University. But it's basically like the students, the first years, perform a dance.
a lot of like 15 times.
Yeah. So if you're from Stellenbosch, you know what Fensters is. For those who don't know, it's just basically a dancing show that the first years present to the public, because we sell tickets to raise funds for whatever the university's charity is happening that year. Yeah, so that's Fensters.
Yeah.
And during Fensters, or
So this situation happened. Parts of it happened during Fences. I think another part of it happened right off the Fences. I think it might have been right off the Fences. So I come in, the 78 kg first year, whatever the case may be. My hair was much shorter. I was very young. This was actually 2017.
yeah.
So I have this thing where I love to collect socks, right? So I've been doing it since I was in matric, and my friends would buy me socks for my birthday. They still do it now, and for Christmas and all that stuff. So I collected Stan socks, to be specific. So
Sorry, Stan, what's that?
it's like a specific brand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a skater brand type situation, but it's also like affiliated with the NBA now. But back then it wasn't. It was kind of just like a sock brand.
I see.
If you go to like these stores like Billabong or Roxy or I don't know, whatever, like you'll find like a whole bunch of them. So yeah, so 2016 Christmas, I bought myself a Christmas present. I bought Stan socks, but I bought Star Wars socks. So I had Kylo Ren
cool.
socks.
Oh, nice.
And there's this person in Meta now, when I first started, that, I mean, I have no issue with this, fancied me quite a bit. I wasn't really aware of this because they're also a very nice person.
Yeah.
So it's a bit difficult to distinguish whether or not someone's actually fancying you or they're just being nice. Because she really was a very nice person.
Yeah.
Very, very nice person. I give
Just
her
a
that
little bit
much.
of context. Like when he said Meta was the residence, or like the student, student residence we were both staying at. Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
And Meta was a co-ed residence, so girls and boys actually lived underneath the same roof. Not in the same room, but just underneath the same roof. So a lot of things happened there. Yeah.
A lot of interesting things happened there.
But here you can hear the story of how someone's shooting their shot or not.
So yeah,
Allegedly.
So I just thought they were being very nice, and then it was strange because we're all very new and people like might take likings to different people because they just feel like maybe different people are easy to speak to. So this person like follows up on me like, I wouldn't say a lot, but a decent amount, more than all the other guys that were in leadership. but not because like the other people were like bad. You guys weren't bad. It was just like it was interesting. This person just happened to be where I was, and would follow up with me and be like, oh, okay, cool. Ask about my interests and all that stuff, and I explained. And I think they saw my socks, and they were like, okay, that's cool. And then it starts, right? So I start getting these like a written note on my door. It's stuck on like my doorknob or whatever the case may be. And I think the first note, I don't know what the first note said, but I remember being like, okay. And then there was a point where one of the notes that arrived just said like socks. And I don't know if it had like a socks and like a smiley face or whatever. And I was thinking to myself like, why would someone just write socks? And like, but like, by the way, these notes got stuck on my door either when I wasn't there or like, sure, it must have been like after midnight or something, like really late in the day. And then there was another situation where I was talking to this person downstairs, and I think the basketball chat came up because I played Marty's basketball. That whole thing came up, and something about Kobe Bryant and whatever the case may be. And then they sent, like, I saw another note was stuck on my door, either that evening or 2 evenings later. And it had like 24 and I think and 20 or something. I wasn't sure. But Kobe Bryant's number is 24. I wasn't sure what the other numbers were for or whatever, but I was like trying to like this whole cryptic situation. But now it wasn't just notes. I used to get a little chocolate as well. So there was a note and like a chocolate sitting on top of like my doorknob thing. And I used to look out and I'd see that nobody else has a chocolate or a note. It wasn't the hardcores being nice. It was someone specific. And I remember being like, what the heck is going on here? Like for context. The reason why I was so confused was I would wake up at night to go to the bathroom. And because the stuff was put there before I went to bed, or like after I'd gone to bed or whatever, after I've like closed down for the evening, when I came back from the bathroom, I would notice that there's something on my door. And I wasn't sure if it was put there while I was gone to the bathroom or when it was there. I just fell asleep when they did it, and then obviously I went to the bathroom. So I'd be like, wow, so much dedication. Like, what is happening here? And then it was a bit cryptic. I didn't really know who it was in the beginning. And then eventually the person sort of revealed themselves. I think this was actually the inoffense. They slipped like a bigger card under my door.
Yeah.
And they kind of wrote, and they were like, hey, what if you ever need anything? It was a nice card. But obviously it was nice leaning in a different direction. You know, it was a different kind of nice. It was like I'm not sure if I'd be this nice to everyone type of nice. So, so I saw this, I was like, okay, not cool, but yeah, okay. So I carry on with my life, and I start as a first year, and I meet new people, have friends, and all that stuff. And then this is where it gets interesting. A good friend of mine, we have like our first years, like, it's like your
first year's like...
It's like a sparkle type situation or whatever.
Or like a social, or it's just like a first year event.
Like a social, something like that. And then we all go to that. But you can invite someone, you can pay for a ticket. So I invited a friend from Sonop. So that person was actually just my friend. It was nothing more, it was never more. It was just like we were like part of a friend group, and they were the one that was available. So I was like, hey, would you want to go? And they were like, okay, cool. So we went to this thing, and then I'm walking the friend home. I run into this guy now that I'm one of my good friends, and he's walking another lady home from Sonop. So we leave the ladies at Sonop, whatever, and then he says, hey, I'm actually quite hungry. Do you want to go to McDonald's? I'm like, I'm also hungry. So we walk all the way down in Victoria. We go to McDonald's. Lo and behold, person X that writes all the notes is in McDonald's as well. So I try to tell this person, hey, dude, can we just, be quick about the situation, basically, because there's something that's happening here. So then this person becomes incredibly intrigued. And they're like, what is happening? So I quickly try and explain that, like, I don't know if it's the best idea for us to be here because they'd also been drinking.
Yeah.
So I was like, ooh, man, this isn't going to work out. And it didn't work out. I was right. But the person they were so entertained. So we got to a point where, like, now, person X is with probably their best friend. And their best friend is asking me who I'm going to take out for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is the next week. And I was like, I already had someone in mind who was going to ask, like, for Valentine's Day. I didn't end up asking anyone. But I was like, no, it's fine. I already have a Valentine in mind. They were like, oh, but why don't you pick my friend? And the friend is standing like right here, hearing this whole conversation. So I'm saying, no, I already have a Valentine and everything. We're like, oh no, but my friend's basically better. You guys have so much in common. All like we were there for ages because it was it was a Wednesday, which is in Stellenbosch is like a what's it, Klein Saterdag or something.
Yeah, Wednesdays.
So the McDonald's was packed. So we waited quite a while for our meal, and
That's
it was
really
terrible.
awkward.
It was terrible. The only reason why, so it was awkward for me,
Yeah.
because they were standing there, and they weren't like not listening. Like I understand if like they're standing and doing something else, but they were like actively engaged in the conversation. I'm discussing why I don't want to ask you out to be my Valentine to your best friend, indirectly speaking to you, and then my friend is having the time of his life watching all of this happen. And I've never in my life been in a situation like that before. I don't even ever heard of anyone in a situation like that before. So we end up going back and forth, and I'm pulling out every single excuse out of the book because I don't see the relationship that way. I don't even really know if there was any sort of relationship besides you were someone that I knew and you were very cool and had met and it was very welcoming. Thank you.
Yeah.
It gets worse. We end up getting our food, and now I think we can finally go. They ordered an Uber, and they're like, do you guys want to Uber back with us? I obviously didn't want to.
Yeah.
Friend who's with me is like, yeah, let's go. So we all jump in the Uber.
Yeah, instigator as a friend.
Friend is with me, is sitting next to me, and then eventually they say, okay, no, let's swap. Wants to swap with this person who, the notes person, leaving notes on my door. And then he says, yeah, I'll let the lovebirds sit at the back.
Oh my
So
God.
they're just like instigating, they're putting more and more and more fuel in the fire. We have this discussion in the Uber till we get to Meta. The Uber drops us off. We still have the discussion on like that like big like speed hump outside Meta.
Yeah.
Continue. And they're like, no, but why? Why don't you want to? And I'm just like, oh my word, I have no idea what the heck is happening to me here right now. So I end up explaining. And then another friend of mine walks by, and then I greet them. And then they're like, oh, but do you know that friend likes you? And now they're trying to like solve it. I'm just like, no, I know they don't like me. And they're like, no, they're just jealous or whatever. And they're acting like it. Whatever. And it's like, it ends up being like a huge messy situation. Eventually, I don't even know how I ended up leaving. But then I think that night or 2 days later, I got a text from the notes person being like, hey, I really apologize for what happened. Like, I'm so sorry that happened. Basically, like, I'm going to leave you alone basically now. Yeah, all the best. And then they did leave me alone. But that was my introduction to university. Very, very quick. That was just one of many interesting stories that happened in Meta.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, that was something that happened to me, and I wasn't sure why that happened to me because, not like in a bad way, but like it's like,
Yeah.
I keep to myself. I play basketball. I go home. I eat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But when infatuation strikes, like it's a drug. You
Hey,
can't-
let me not say anything, eh? Let me not say the people watching this, they won't. Yeah, if you know, you're welcome to. Let me not say welcome to drop it in the comments. You're
Yeah,
welcome
no.
to guess. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your keyboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's-
that's one. That's one interesting story.
Yeah. Let me share maybe on the opposite end of the coin of what my experience is. I was actually a person writing notes to people on the doors.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually did that, but I wasn't as hectic as that person where I kept repeating. I did it once for it was Valentine's Day coming up. There was a girl I liked in Res, and basically she was Afrikaans, so I remember writing out the note in English, and was like, I can't really remember what I wrote. It's also kind of cringe thinking back to it. It's always cringe, but it was something about like I just really wanted to have the chance to say you had a pretty smile, something like that on the note. Something
That's
kind
cute,
of
man.
yeah.
That's
But so I folded up the letter into like this really like cool envelope with like a leaf on it. Then I got like a rose to attach to it. I don't have any pictures, but I should have taken pictures. I should have deleted it just to think about how cringe it is. But
it's a sensible
sensible
gesture of
yeah.
affection.
Yeah, so I had the letter inside the envelope with the rose, and I also put a slab of chocolate in the envelope as well.
Oh.
Yeah, and but like, thing is, I wrote the note in English, and I got my Afrikaans friend to translate the whole note into English. Got my Afrikaans friend to translate the English note into Afrikaans for me. So it was just a lot of effort done on my part.
Hey, that is dedication.
Yeah, but I don't think I would chase as hard as your person X, because I think after a while I just let it fizzle out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So on the opposite end, I mean, sometimes you just gotta get out the system, write a note, maybe burn it, but I think,
I back that.
yeah,
I 100% back shooting your shot. I would never discourage anyone from
yeah.
doing anything.
But sometimes
yeah.
you have to just also get the vibe and know, like,
That this
if it's
was
infatuation or if it's what you call, if it's actually love. The girl was just most infatuated because she was just super pretty. But actually, like, starting to get to know a person a bit better. It's like, lifestyle and also just interests don't match. You kind of let it go.
it's not the same situation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Yeah. But that's uni.
that was one, and I think considering Meta, dude, my story is like nothing.
Yeah. I
Like-
think you can share that on the next episodes. But yeah, I think we're going to end this episode here. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing your love. And yeah, cheers. See you guys next time.
See you guys. Shoot your shots. Be sensible.
Cheers.